keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the last bastion of sanity for this portion of the internet, the Last Vox. My name is Matt, and I hope you are sitting back and enjoying the craziness that has been going on, because I plan to bring you, well, some internet insanity. So sit back, grab your favorite drink, and just, well, listen and feel good knowing that you are smarter than anybody I'm talking about on this show. So, how's it going, everyone? It has been one hell of a week, has it not? I mean, it's been a hell of a couple of weeks. But before I get too far into that, and unfortunately this week has a lot to do with This week's show has a lot to do with the craziness that has been the last couple weeks. I'm going to say hello to the people who've been here the longest, and say hello to the chat. So, Za was first, Trey Lee got second, Ray was third, and Ben C says FBI open up with his honorable mentions. So that's our gold, silver, and bronze commenters today. Mitzi, unfortunately, did not get first. I don't even see her in the chat, but that's fine too. B Token's here. How's it going? Let's see. Steve is here. How's it going? Ishtar, darling, how are you? Zaw says this stream is brought to you by Joe Biden. Unfortunately not, because, well, he would forget how things, actually work. Sparky's here. How's it going, Sparky? Everyone needs to wish Sparky a happy birthday in the chat. He turned a whopping 22 yesterday. He is just a baby. If you look at his profile picture, I mean, he is so young. It's absolutely amazing that he is a 9-foot tall basketball American, and he is still living his best life here in this racist America. So, how are you doing, Sparky? Let's see, who else is here? Steve says, nope, I'm not enjoying it. Had 3 days of news silence. Sir, catch me up. I will. Zeo Gold, how's it going? No, I am not going downtown to find that insanity. I am staying away from the chop/Chaz. Splat dude, how's it going? I don't think I've seen you here before. And Cinder Shadow, my man, what's going on? And Sparky says he is still drunk. Alright, so his birthday was yesterday. Like I said, he's 22. He just started drinking heavily. It's alright, everyone. Sparky is going to be fine. He has someone with him. Don't worry. How's it going, Malik? 3 days of news silence. Man, don't lie, Sparky. We know how old you are. We have seen the pictures. It's just a shame that you are trying to age yourself up. Anyway, so this week has been crazy, yeah? I mean, the Chaz has changed its name to the Chop, and, well, things have just absolutely gone insane. I didn't pull it up, but apparently there was a shooting in Chaz, and one person was found dead and 2 people were injured. And the people in Chaz were really pissed off that the EMTs didn't go in to help people. Raz, their de facto leader, is out there basically going, the ambulance, the EMTs and the firefighters are now racist because they won't go into Chaz to help people. I used to have an EMT roommate, and I know for a fact that EMTs do not go into a scene unless the police actually say that the scene is secure. So that's probably why they didn't go in, because you're not letting cops into their city. How's it going, Tom? And if Tom, if Siri happens to be listening, if not, tell her I said hello as well. And I just turned on my own Siri. That's Super Siri, not actually Siri. I don't need to talk to that my phone Siri. That's the first time that's ever happened. Hey, anyway. So I used to have an EMT roommate. I want the people of Chaz and I want the people of Chop or whatever they want to call themselves now. I want them to really think for a second. The mayor of Seattle, who, by the way, needs to get her ass out of whatever office, needs to be voted out, as well as the city council, they need to be gone, are basically telling the cops, you're not allowed to go into the Chop. Or the Chaz, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to call it the Moron Zone. They're not allowed to go in. The people of the Moron Zone are also telling people that the cops, it's a no-cop co-op. So, I'm sorry, when you have people... There was a report about, I think she was 23, a 23-year-old deaf woman that was basically grabbed and thrown into a tent and molested and attacked and assaulted. She screamed and cried and called out for help, and no one in the Chaz stopped. They didn't get the report or arrest the guy who raped her until after he stepped foot outside of the Chaz. All of this stuff is just bullshit. So there's now if you go by the news, the Chaz is a socialist utopia. People everywhere are going there, and they're taking care of each other, and they have food, and they have shelter, and they have their own police force. Hold on, wait, didn't they want to defund the police? I'm sorry, they don't want to defund the police. They want to abolish the police. And believe it or not, the people who say, no, they don't want to abolish, I have proof that they want to abolish the police. Not one source, two sources, so they can fuck right off, okay? They don't give a good goddamn about the police force. And unfortunately, Malik, you're right. Cops are quitting. You know what? I think that every single police officer that is being told not to do anything needs to basically sack up and protect the people like they said they were going to. Fuck the mayor. Fuck the city council. Go in there and clean up your city. Do you want to know how I know they can do this? Because they tried to set up their own little Chaz in Portland and in Florida. Guess what happened? Portland shut that shit down almost immediately. The cops in Miami went, oh no bitch, this isn't happening. And nothing happened. The fucking mayor of Seattle needs to be, I'm not going to say she needs to be hurt in any way, but she needs to be thrown out into the middle of the street with the Chaz and let her then be part of that little community that she thinks is so good. Because you have people who are walking around with AR-15s who are handing them out to children. You have the de facto police in Raz and his little group. Oh, on top of that, there were pictures going around of people dressed up in superhero garb, being vigilantes for the Chaz. Listen, this is an insurgency, okay? Antifa has been declared a terrorist organization. Antifa is working alongside Black Lives Matter to keep the Chaz their own. Creating and attacking and, well, basically commandeering and stealing from land from the city. Yeah, it's a hostile takeover. Thank you, Sparky. That's the words I was looking for. It's a hostile takeover of a terrorist organization. So, I'm sorry, isn't that paramount to treason? Now, I know for a fact that not everybody in the Chaz believes what the Chaz believes. There are people who live there who can't go anywhere else. They have to work, they have to live. All of this stuff, so I'm not going to say go through and send in the bombs, but they're calling for a president like Obama again. You know what? I'm all for that. Do you want to know why? Because if that was the case, Obama would just send in the drones and destroy everybody that way. Alright, so let's go ahead and get another Obama in office, and when that happens, he can send in the drones and kill a bunch of people without actually really having to worry about it. How's it going, Nathan? How's it going, Damn Alien? So yeah, let's run down the list of the Chaz, shall we? They want to defund the police, but they have their own de facto police department. They want the police to do things about the criminals that are in their organization, but they don't want the police coming onto their, onto their property, since it's now leaving the U.S. They have people who have engineering degrees who are trying to farm. But they can't do it well enough, so they have people trying to crowdsource outside of the Chaz to get their stuff. And I'm not talking about food and water. They want sunglasses and sunscreen and shirts and pants and food. They want water. They want soda. They want everyone else to fucking take care of them. These fucking idiots are so immature. All these people they're the spoiled kids, okay? They're the people who you grew up knowing that their parents gave them whatever they wanted. And you know what? They never said no to them. That's these idiots right now, okay? Not a single one of them have ever been told no. And when they are starting to run out of the things that they need, what do? They let a homeless person destroy one garden. They segregate the other garden to only black people can use it, and then they let the other one die. This is wonderful. Socialism in action, people. This is your oppression pyramid in action. Not only that, but they had an announcement. If you're a white person in the Chaz, guess what you have to do? You have to, as far as I know, on a daily basis, give the first black person you see $10. Not for any reason whatsoever, but just give it to them. So, they don't want capitalism, yet they use capitalism, because there are people in there selling things. It's not just give it to the people. They're in there selling $6 hot dogs. They're in there selling Black Lives Matter merchandise. They're in there selling Antifa brand merchandise. They're selling, not giving. They're making a profit on this. That doesn't sound like socialism. That sounds like capitalism. Oh, and on top of that, the people with the guns are running unchecked. Okay? They can do whatever they want. They don't give a fuck if you are... It's no longer innocent until proven guilty. It's, if we think you're guilty, well, guess what? You're guilty. All of it is fucking dumb. All of it. And every single person that is there, every single business owner that is still there and running their business, if this continues to go on, I want to point something out to you guys. Do you guys remember hearing about the yellow jacket or the yellow vest protests in France? The yellow vest protests in France lasted 3 months. The Chaz has been up for almost a month. If this keeps going, we have no idea how long they're going to be there. So, business owners in this little Chaz area, what happens when the food runs out? What happens when the donations stop coming in? Because if you notice, they've already moved on. Not really talking about the Chaz as much anymore. Not really talking about anything that had George Floyd. They're not talking about that anymore. They're not talking about the cops that were arrested and charged. They're not talking about the extraordinarily high charge count that they're going to get that's going to be overturned. No, not talking about any of that. They've moved on to the next thing. Rayshard Brooks, that's the next big thing. Now they're burning down the Wendy's. Why are they burning down the Wendy's? Wendy's had nothing to fucking do with him. Wendy's had nothing fucking to do with him driving drunk to the Wendy's to pass out in the drive-thru. Wendy's had nothing to do with him attacking the police officers. Wendy's had nothing to do with him beating them and giving them a concussion. Nothing to do with him stealing the taser. Nothing to do with him turning around and aiming and firing the taser at the cop. And Wendy's had nothing to do with the cops shooting him in self-defense. So why the fuck did you burn down the Wendy's? Let's also talk about the fact that there was a report going around that someone went to a Wendy's nearby, a young couple. They were accosted by protesters because they're protesting the Wendy's because they're fucking stupid. And they were accosted and almost pulled out of their vehicle and beaten. Mob mentality is not the way to go. And yet here we are. Here we are. Oh yeah, I understand that, Sparky. They called the cops on him because he was blocking their drive-through. Maybe if they actually gave the idiot, and I'm calling him that, if they actually gave the child-abusing, wife-abusing, woman-abusing, multi-time felon idiot the chance to wake up, and if he wouldn't have, driven drunk or had any sense of self-awareness or self-responsibility, I would think people would actually listen to what was happening. Instead, the DA throws these two cops under the bus. Not only does he throw these two cops under the bus, but within 2 weeks, because the two press conferences were separate, within 2 weeks, basically tells the cops, you're not allowed to fucking do anything. Nathan Marcano for $5 says, notice how this only happens in lefty areas and not in places with a well-armed populace. Seems like these people are cowards. Change my mind. Can't change your mind, Nathan, because you're right. They are cowards. They tried it in New Mexico. And what ended up happening? They got to pull down their statue, but they went after a dude who had a gun. When he started to retreat, the Antifa idiots basically screamed at them, get him, we're gonna kill him. He turned around with a dude who had a knife and lit his ass up. He deserved it because he attacked someone retreating. So let's talk about this Atlanta DA, because you've all heard the stories, right? The Atlanta DA, or Atlanta has 6 districts in the city that work throughout the city together. A couple of nights ago, they had something called the Blue Flu. What is the Blue Flu? Well, that's where cops decide to call out en masse. So districts 1, 3, 5, and 6 all fucking called out. 2 districts were going around basically patrolling everything. There was a recording from a cop to dispatch basically asking, where's the backup? And what dispatch told them was, unless it's officer down or an armed assailant, you're not getting help. Does anybody else see the problem with this? Look, everybody jokes about the purge, right? We need a purge. We need this. We need one night to get everything out. The purge is happening, motherfuckers. The purge is happening on a daily basis because people are not paying attention. And it is really hard for me to have hope. But I still have it. So this DA needs to be fired. This DA needs to be drug out into the middle of the street and put in front of every single person he just threw under the bus. So, 2 weeks ago, the cops of Atlanta are told that you can be fined, you can be arrested, you can be charged if you aim your taser at someone, because your taser is considered a deadly weapon. So that's one story, folks. That's one story. So I'm going to give you a little word problem here. All right? So just wait for the answers, because it's just going to be a 1 or a 2, but here's the word problem. In one case, a cop is fined. In one instance, a cop is fined because he aimed his taser at someone because it's considered a deadly weapon. The next case, the cop is then arrested and charged on felony murder because he decided to shoot the person, an assailant, who turned around and aimed a deadly weapon at him. Make it make sense. So, put a 1 in the chat if you think that's bullshit and the DA just threw the entire Atlanta Police Department under the bus. Or put a 2 in the chat if you think that's okay and that should happen. Oh, wait. I'm going to take a little drink because I got some stuff we're going to talk about with this. I'm not disagreeing with you, Sparky. I understand tasers can be deadly weapons. But my question is how in case 1 is it considered a deadly weapon, but in case 2, the cop was in no danger from the person aiming the deadly weapon at him? Oh, I'm sorry, not just aiming. Aiming and fucking fired. Okay? Rayshard Brooks fired the taser at the cops. So now the DA... Oh, okay. Sorry, Sparky. Now the DA, since all of that came to light, the DA now says that there is body cam footage of Rolfe, Officer Rolfe, kicking Rayshard Brooks while he was down. Except, if there was body cam footage, how come we're not seeing it? Because it's not there. Because he didn't kick him. They want all of these cities, all of these fucking idiots are just giving in to the mob. How do we get them to stop? I'll tell you how you get them to stop. You arrest them. Now, a peaceful protest is a peaceful protest. That means you're not impeding anybody, you're not causing any violence, you're not hurting anyone, you don't bring weapons, you don't bring anything, you bring your signs and you get really loud. That's a peaceful protest. When you start destroying shit, when you start beating people, when you start pulling truckers out of their fucking cabs and destroying things, that is no longer a peaceful protest. It's done. You then get arrested. That's what you do. So instead of... Look, it's no longer about George Floyd. It's no longer about Black Lives Matter. It's not even about Rayshard Brooks. It's about what the mob can get and how much power they can assert over the political forces. And guess what? With every fucking city bending over backwards for these goddamn idiots, they see nothing but power. They see that if they scream loud enough, if they cry hard enough, if they call you racist enough, if they demand enough, you're going to give it to them. Do you want to know what parents call that? Spoiled little fucking brats. Do you want to know how you deal with spoiled kids? You punish them. You take shit away. You don't give them 6 square city blocks. You don't give them their freedoms. You take them away. They are breaking the law. They are attacking our country. Now, I am not the most patriotic person, but in this instance, you are openly calling for the destruction of our society. Fuck you. You are tearing down statues of George Washington. You're tearing down statues of Ulysses S. Grant, one of the fucking generals that helped emancipate the slaves. Are you fucking insane? What the hell is wrong with these people? Well, I can tell you what's wrong with these people. These idiots, these rage-filled morons don't give a flying fuck if they're about Black Lives Matter. They don't give a good goddamn about Rayshard Brooks. They don't give a limped noodle dick about George Floyd. They just want to destroy. They see that this is their opportunity to actually enforce socialism and communism. Fuck these people. From the bottom of my heart, I hope every single one of them ends up sick and despot. Because as we saw last time on the Last Vox, it's basically not... It's not the protesters' fault if COVID gets another spike, which we are starting to see. It's racism's fault. You remember that article, guys? I do. How's it going, Straight Sith Male? Yeah, they all need a fucking ass kicking. and when they have people that are praising them in the media and showing them to be quote-unquote the good guys, yeah, no. Again, once again, this boils down to the media. God, I sound like an old school fucking conspiracy theorist by continuing to talk about how the media is the problem here. When you have a biased media, it's going to show biased things. I've had good interactions with cops. I've had guns pulled on me. Do you want to know why I had guns pulled on me by Border Patrol? Because I had my hands in my pockets and I accidentally, because I had never dealt with cops before, I had accidentally started to pull my hands out of my pockets. I had 5 people draw down on me and tell me to keep still. Because they didn't know what I was going to do. And then guess what they did? They took me to a Denny's to wait for my bus. I've had good interactions with cops. I've had bad interactions with cops. I had a late night interaction because my tags were outdated in California. Okay? Do you want to know what a cop did? Since I had been pulled over 2 weeks before, I accidentally tried, instead of my ID, I accidentally tried to hand him my credit card. We joked. And he said, you know what? You already had a warning. You look like you're tired. Man, just get your stuff fixed and go home. I'm not going to write you a ticket this time. Oh, I don't have to imagine it, Nathan. Imagine living in California. I lived in it most of my life. But you guys didn't come here to hear me rant. Some of you did. But you also came to hear about this internet insanity. I know Steve's listening. He wants to know what happened in the last 3 days. A lot of shit has happened in the last 3 days. A lot of shit has happened in the last couple weeks. So I am going to actually get you guys some Schadenfreude. I'm going to get you guys something to laugh at. I'm going to show you guys some internet insanity. And since we've been talking about the Chaz, we've been talking about Antifa, man, I got something for you that it was 11 days ago. You guys ready? Because this one's good. Infighting. Antifa leader admits sexual assault and plans to kill themselves. Who else here is surprised that a soy boy male feminist is a sexual assaulter? Raise your hand if you're shocked. No, let's go even further. Put a 1 in the chat if you're shocked about this. Put a 2 in the chat if you knew this was coming. I'll put a 2 in the chat right now. Just bam, 2 right there. Because I saw this coming a long-ass time ago. So let's go over this. The head of BLM Antifa Autonomous Zone admits to sexual assault and threatens suicide. Now, there were reports going on that said that they actually did off themselves, but this whole threatened suicide was basically just an attention grab. So, early Tuesday, members of Antifa and Black Lives Matter announced the illegal formation of the Chaz, the Autonomous Zone in Seattle, near the now abandoned Seattle Police East Precinct. Hours after their announcement, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone was already facing crisis of leadership, because they're technically not supposed to have leadership. This is socialism. The people police themselves. It's supposed to work out, right? That's how it works. You don't actually get anything. It's you don't have any personal property. It's just them taking whatever they want from you, but you can go ahead and take from anybody else as well. It's all good for the people, regardless if you worked hard for it, regardless if it actually had your stuff on it. It's, it's for the people. It was forcefully donated to somebody else. Taking to Twitter, members of the group organizing body responsible for this fiasco began releasing startling disclosures about one of their leaders. They have been a repeat offender of both sexual and physical assault against other activists involved in the movement. You know, just like the last time we did the Last Vox 2 weeks ago, there was that story about how they just wanted him to read some feminist articles or feminist essays. Do you think they made this thing do some feminist article reading? I doubt it. How's it going, Penn? So here we go. This is from Michael Tracy. This is one of the individuals running Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle. No additional commentary from me needed. So, I didn't lie about the new me. I'm a more calmed and collected ranter now. It's not me getting angry. It's all new. How's it going, Vin? So this is Laura Kauk, whatever her fucking name is. They're 18. They go by she, they. They're a lesbian anarchist. They want to abolish whiteness, capitalism, and civilization. And then you can see there's a Cash App link right there. They don't want to work. They just want to abolish all this stuff and have you pay for it. Jesus. Well, here we go. Like people say, oh, you're not an abuser, but considering literally every partner and most of the friends I've had has said I've been abusive. I'm pretty fucking sure I'm an abuser. Well, Anarchomastaza, whatever your fucking Twitter handle is, which is now protected, guys, just to let you know. Yeah, you're an abuser. Twitter user Laura Kauk has become somewhat of a leader among participants in the autonomous zone. The transgender, I couldn't have guessed that. Couldn't have guessed they were transgender at all. Could you guys guess? Could you look at that image and not see that they were transgender? I mean, they pass so well. I didn't know that one giant caterpillar could stay put on someone's forehead that long, but goddamn is it bushy. The transgender activist... Oh, and I want to make this clear. I don't give a flying fuck that they're transgender. They can call themselves whatever they want. I care that this person wants to abolish whiteness, being white, abolish capitalism, participating in it, and civilization as we know it, while trying to get people to donate to them. I also give more than a fuck about the fact that they're an abusive son of a bitch who sexually assaulted and physically assaulted people that they know. I don't give a goddamn what they have between their legs. Thank you. That is my my little thing to make sure people understand where I come from. My disclaimer. The transgender activist describing themselves as a lesbian anarchist who wants to abolish whiteness has been busy collecting donations, making supply runs, and advocating for guns to be brought into the Cal Anderson Park, where the tent city has been erected for the rioters to live in. Yes, Ishtar, I do say the F word a lot when I'm talking about this because I'm impassioned by it. So they want to bring it... These are the same people that are against gun laws. These are the same idiots that want gun regulation. They want to get rid of guns. But now they're bringing it into the autonomous zone and giving it to underage people to patrol their borders. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention to you guys. These are the same idiots that want to abolish borders on places like America. They want to abolish the borders and let anybody in, but the autonomous zone immediately set up borders and made sure people who were made it to the point where they said it was okay for certain people to come in and out. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. Laura Kauk has also had their hands full with another task: molesting other members. According to at least 2 execs and 1 current partner, the leader of the autonomous zone has repeatedly abused the women that they've been with. One user wrote, "I'm her ex. Even if she isn't doing it consciously, she has done things like this on multiple occasions, including assaulting people, and, despite acknowledging she's in the wrong, has refused treatment. She has threatened suicide numerous times. She's not being gaslit." Ouch. Another person underneath said, "I'm also her ex, and I genuinely don't know what to think and right now, and I'm worried." How about you guys, get them arrested? Another user explained that just recently Laura Kauk has physically and sexually assaulted them. "You punched me in the fucking face a few days before you shoved me off the bed for making a shit joke. I constantly push your hands away and tell you to stop touching my chest. One time I told you to stop and you cried and got all depressive." This is no, damn alien, you're right. Not only are they not being gaslit, but they need to actually have it happen. I'm not saying douse them in gas and then light it with a match, but tar and feathering and putting them out for everybody to see, I can get behind that. Why not? As accusations mounted throughout the day, late in the evening, Laura finally admitted their guilt, and in an alarming post offered their final goodbyes before claiming they intended to take their own life. I got into it with people about this before. When someone does something like that, it is not a cry for help. It is not saying that they're actually going to do it. What they want is attention. They want people to pay attention to them. Let's see. "I'm a serial abuser." This is Laura's own words. "I'm a serial abuser, and I don't really believe anyone can, quote-unquote, get better from a situation like that. I'm going to peacefully end my life so I won't hurt anyone else." And before that, they put, "Goodbye, everyone. I'm sorry." Apparently, at least on 2 other occasions, Laura has threatened to take their own life. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone is a 6-block area in Seattle currently occupied by elements of BLM and Antifa. Oh, here we go. Laura also says, "Speaker at the Autonomous Zone advocating folks with firearms take shifts defending the barricades." No, Malik, unfortunately, I don't believe this person is for real about anything they say. I know they probably are pretty good at putting on a good face, putting on that mask and letting people know exactly who they are. But I don't think they're genuine at all for anything. Ray, the way that they do these things, maybe she could just identify as someone who isn't an abuser, and then it'll be all good for them. Alright, and that is the end of that article. So we have Antifa, with their wonderful leadership, already having problems. Could you believe it? I couldn't. I mean, they're so organized. Maybe what they should do for Laura to help curb her tendencies is something, you know how you can curb a bad habit? They tell you, like, if you bite your nails, how to curb a bad habit is you put, like, hot sauce on your nails and let it dry, so then when you bite it, it hurts and you don't do it anymore. Or you put nail polish or nail polish remover on it. It's something to stop you from doing it, or you flick a rubber band. You cause some sort of pain. I have a perfect example of what we should do to Laura every single time she wants to grab someone's chest when they don't want them to. Oh, Vin, you're ruining my segue, Vin, but it's fine. So there was a report that came out that said Antifa was going to come and tear down the Alamo. Yeah, you heard that right. A bunch of soy-filled idiots are about to go try and take down the Alamo. Every single gun owner in Texas basically went, no. As Ishtar put it the other day, you could audibly hear every single hammer on a gun cock. This stuff isn't happening in red states because they're smart enough to know that there's no possible way that they could get away with it. But let's talk about curbing Laura's bad habits. We could always just take this chili, this brand new chili, and put it on her eyebrows, put it under her nose, maybe over her lip, for every single time she decides she wants to assault somebody. Now, why is that a problem? Well, it's a brand new pepper. Yeah. And the world's newest, hottest pepper can close your airways immediately. Yeah, someone has created the world's hottest pepper that could now kill you. Just take a little bit of this pepper's oil and put it on her, put it under her tongue. That's what you need to do. No, that is not a Babylon Bee article there, Zeo Gold. That was a real article. So this new hottest pepper, here we go. If you're a fan of extreme heat, hot peppers, and world records, then you're about to jump for joy because a new chili pepper officially qualifies to become the newest, hottest pepper based on Scoville heat units alone. Hobbyist chili grower Mike Smith of North Wales, UK, recently unleashed his latest creation. The world's hottest chili pepper, one so spicy and super hot, it could literally kill someone who eats it. Now that's some spicy food. So, if you can't see it, it's that little tiny, tiny orange thing. That tiny little orange thing can kill you. As the Daily Post reports, Smith's Dragon's Breath chili, because after you eat it, if you survive, no one is going to want to be around you while you're breathing, honoring the mythology of its birth country of Wales, measures nearly 2.5 million on the Scoville scale. Let me put that into perspective for you. So for those of you who don't know what the Scoville scale is, a Scoville unit is how many gallons of water it will take to nullify the capsaicin from the chili pepper. Completely nullify. A jalapeno, a regular jalapeno, is about 60 to 100 Scoville units. So it's hot, but it's not gonna hurt you. You know, it may make your tongue a little flamed, may make your lips a little warm. It's not gonna kill you. The what is it called? The Carolina Reaper. Everybody was doing the one chip challenge a while ago, a couple years ago. It was a Carolina Reaper chip, corn chip. The Carolina Reaper is 1 million Scoville units. That means to nullify the capsaicin in the Carolina Reaper, it would take 1 million gallons of water. That's a bit much. So this chili, this Dragon's Breath chili, is so hot that it would take 2.5 million gallons of water to nullify it. Why? Why do people make these things? I do not understand. I understand adding heat to your food. I am trying to get Ishtar to be more or less of a white girl and actually accept heat. It's been a long road, but she's starting to like heat just a little bit. No one needs this. Nobody needs this. Yes, it is a military-grade chili pepper. The standard measure of the spicy heat or pungency of chili peppers and other tongue-tingling foods. You probably won't find this pepper in a hot sauce anytime soon, though. Stranger things have happened. Let me tell you, capsaicin, pure capsaicin, is 2 million Scoville units. This thing is more potent than the chemical that causes pain. The chemical that causes pain from these chilies to make it to... It's a defense mechanism. They don't want animals to eat these. The fruit. So they cause pain. It has more Scoville units than the actual chemical that is used to create the Scoville scale. Listen, as Mike Smith talks about his new pepper that's guaranteed to be a shoo-in as a hot chili world record holder for the Guinness Book of World Records. We're not going to listen to that because I don't know how loud it's going to be. I don't know. Okay, the things that say it's over 10 million, I wouldn't believe it. Like I said, pure capsaicin is 2 million. Unfortunately, going over that and claiming it and stuff like that, I don't believe 9 million, 10 million. Because there would be a world record for it. You're not wrong, Penn. I'm sure you put a Geiger counter up to this thing and it just goes off the charts. The hottest peppers in the world are the Komodo dragon chili pepper, the Trinidad Morgo scorpion, the Naga viper. I gotta love you know what? Aside from the fact that these people are fucking insane for trying to eat this stuff or even creating it, I gotta love the names that they come up with this. The Naga Morich, the Boot Jolkaya, the ghost pepper, and the Spanish Naga chili, sitting between 855,000 units and 2.4 million on the Scoville heat scale unit. For a little perspective, the smoky hot poblano pepper measures about 1,000 to 1,500 of heat intensity scale, about 30% as hot as the jalapeno pepper. Bell peppers rank as 0, but they are very tasty. The spicy jalapeno, spicy jalapeno measures between 2,500 and 8,000. And the tongue-blistering habanero chili pepper charts between 100,000 and 350,000 on the Scoville scale. That's a bit much. That tiny pepper could kill somebody. There's more. There's an advertisement for homemade hot sauce. Do not make hot sauce with this pepper. This thing should be banned by the Geneva Convention. The next hottest pepper on the list is the Carolina Reaper, the former Guinness World Record hottest chili as of 2014. Pales in comparison with its 2.2 million Scoville rating. Grow it at home if you really like it hot. How about you don't grow this thing? It's horrible. It is the angriest looking pepper I have ever seen. Like, this is cute and tiny and red. I'll pull up a Carolina Reaper in just a second here. The pepper spray used by the U.S. military registers only around 2 million on the scale. That makes the Dragon's Breath, with a Scoville rating of 2.5, a full 1,000 times as spicy as the jalapeno. Fiery enough to close the airways, burn the throat, and cause anaphylactic shock in someone who ate it. Even if you're not, allergic to it, you're going to go into shock. Don't eat this pepper. When it comes to spicy peppers, Smith was not messing around. Oh, here we go. Scoville units. Here we go, Pen, just for you. The weapons-grade pepper, grown at Smith's store, Tom Smith Plants, has a benevolent use, though. It was developed as an anesthetic for those allergic to other anesthetics, and its oils are so strong, they numb the skin. Alright, here we go. We'll go from the bottom to the top. You guys can jump ahead if you want. 0, no heat, bell peppers. 100 to 500, pimento peppers or pepperoncinis, which are really good. But pepperoncinis can go from hot and spicy to kind of tangy and sour too, so it depends. Anaheim pepper, 500 to 1,000. Tabasco sauce, green pepper, is 600 to 800 Scoville units. Poblano pepper is 1,000 to 1.5 thousand Scoville units. The Rocotillo pepper is 1.5 to 2.5 thousand Scoville. Tabasco sauce, with the Tabasco pepper, goes from 2.5 to 5,000 Scoville. Jalapeno pepper goes from 2.5 to 8,000. A wax pepper goes from 5,000 to 10,000. Tabasco sauce habanero goes from 7,000 to 8,000. Serrano pepper, 10,000 to 23,000. Cayenne pepper, Aji pepper, Tabasco pepper goes from 30,000 to 50,000. These are gallons of water, people. Gallons of water. The Thai pepper, Malagueta pepper, I said that wrong, don't care. Chiltepin pepper goes from 50,000 to 100,000. Jamaican hot pepper goes from 100,000 to 200,000. The Scotch bonnet, which is often confused with the habanero, is 100,000 to 350,000. The habanero pepper, same thing. The red Savina habanero pepper goes from 350,000 to 577,000. The Dorset Naga goes from 876,000 to 970,000. These people eat this stuff. I don't understand why, but they do. The Naga Jolokia goes from 855,000 to 1.04 million Scoville units. Standard U.S. grade pepper spray is 2 million to 5.3 million Scoville units. Oh, they do have... Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so there we go. Pure capsaicin. Nordihydrocapsaicin. I don't know what Nordihydrocapsaicin is, but it is 9.1 Scoville units. And then pure capsaicin is 15 million Scoville units to 16 million Scoville units. Pure capsaicin can, in fact, burn a hole in your tongue. How's it going, playing Discord? King, I hit you up on Twitter for something a while ago. You didn't respond. How dare you? I was looking for something. I still may need your help, though, because Cinder Shadow and I haven't been able to get in sync with each other. No, unfortunately, cutting it down into tiny pieces makes it even worse. Like, the smaller the pepper, the more spicy it is. Cinder, I do still want to do this with you, but I do need a backup, so don't take offense to it. No, I'm not paying attention to your spicy jokes. So, the final word is, sorry to extreme pepper enthusiasts and chili heads, but this is one of the super hot peppers you'll never be able to eat. No, I'm not saying it's your fault, Cinder. Not at all. It's our schedules are a little off right now. I put out a message that, I've been doing really good about putting videos out, and Antoine's been doing really good putting videos out. But we're in the middle of getting ready for a remodel, so things are starting to kind of get hectic. So I don't blame you, Cinder. Don't worry about it. I just do need someone for a backup, just in case. So either one of you I'd be happy about. It was on Twitter, ya fool. Anyway, so, guys, don't eat this pepper. Ever. It could kill you. Although I'm sure someone is going to get a hold of one and they're going to put it on YouTube, and it's going to be bad. Alright. Do you guys want... No, I tagged you, King. $2 from Nathan Marcano says, Twitter isn't real, shirt when. You know what? I'll design something, guys. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a choice. Do you want a little bit of rage, or you know what? I am not going to give you guys a choice. I'm going to show you guys rage. Court says pedophilia does not apply because the perpetrator is a woman. I'm gonna let that headline sink in for you guys. Court says pedophilia does not apply because the perpetrator is a woman. Specifically, this woman. You guys ready? You guys ready for this? I'm ready. Warning, extremely graphic sexual content follows. That is your one and only warning. Female pedophiles. She-monsters. That's putting it nicely. No such thing, probably not. A woman can't be a pedophile. Probably not. The clinical research is thin. Maybe the experts will change their mind by and by. $5 from Vin says, have Antoine holding the Twitter bird on a silver platter ready to be served as dinner. Maybe. That happens a lot in the imprecise science of psychiatry, although one's expert mind was not changed by this. A toddler sits at the woman's feet, his small hands holding onto either leg. In this position, the woman... In this position, the woman, nude below the waist, enjoys herself using a baby bottle on herself. The toddler, giggling, then grabs the bottle and drinks from it. The woman looks directly into the camera and smiles. That was one video seized by police from the Toronto home where the woman lived with her husband. On another video, the same woman is lying in bed with the same toddler. Both are nude. She begins to use her tongue somewhere. I'm not going into graphic detail with this, guys. I don't want to throw up. Looking at the camera, she smacks her lips. A third video. The little boy is seated nude on a changing table. The woman puts the child's appendage into her mouth. The child giggles. In all, investigators discovered 25,066 child pornographic images on more than 50 electronic devices when they executed a search warrant on April 25th, 2016, including 111 movies. Yeah, it is Canada. It's Toronto. The couple is also shown engaging in BDSM with other couples. Police also found a contract signed by the slave, quote-unquote, and her master, quote-unquote, an agreement containing rules and tasks to be completed by the woman as the submissive member in the relationship. They'd met through a website called bondage.com. That's who Jason Dickens and Dylan McEwen were. A man and woman joined in holy BDSM during a 2007 collaring ceremony. Literally collaring, followed a year later by an ordinary wedding in front of family and friends. Yes, let's use this new pepper that we were just talking about as ammo for these people. Last week, Dickens, a former actor on Degrassi High, pleaded guilty. I've never seen Degrassi High, so maybe Canadians in the chat know what I'm talking about, to several child pornography offenses, including 2 counts of making it, with an agreed statement of facts read into the record. Earlier this year, McEwen also pled guilty to sexual assault with 2 child pornography offenses. She was sentenced to 6 years. But what the presiding judge would not do was declare McEwen a dangerous offender, which the Crown had sought with an impassioned urgency. Yeah, I wonder why. 111 videos? How much? What was that number? What was that fucking number? 25,000 instances? 25,000 on 50 different electronic devices. And she only got 6 years. 6. In rejecting the long-term offender order, Justice Kathleen Caldwell weighed the various criteria that must be met, primarily a substantial risk of reoffense. Listen, I know exactly what the argument is going to be before we even get to it. She was forced into it by her master, quote unquote. That's not how this works. Okay? To have someone be your master, you have to be enjoying it. Regardless of some fucked up contract. You have to enjoy it. You have to enjoy being told what to do. It doesn't matter if it's a kink or not for you. It's now your lifestyle. So that means you get off on having your master degrade you, control you, tell you what to do. Which means she got off on doing this stuff. Caldwell determined that McEwen wasn't such a risk, relying heavily on the evidence and psychiatric report prepared by a forensic psychiatrist with expertise in paraphilia and sexual deviancy. Dr. Mark Pierce was agreed upon as an expert witness by both the Crown and the defense when he testified in February. He diagnosed McEwen as a masochist and low risk to reoffend. Caldwell accepted Pierce's conclusion that McEwen derived sexual arousal not from acts committed against the child, but from the extreme humiliation of her involvement in those acts. Called it! Fucking called it! Didn't even pre-read this article. Called it! Which fed her masochism, described as one of the moderately severe end. The judge wrote and read aloud in court. Dr. Pierce testified that the current research suggests that women do not suffer from paraphilic disorders apart from masochism. This fact lends further weight to the conclusion that pedophilia does not apply to you. Crown Attorney Lisa Henderson, the judge noted, had rigorously challenged Pierce on this assertion. Yeah, because you can be. Women can be rapists. Women can be assaulters. Women can be pedophiles. Women can participate in incest. Women can participate as doms. Are you telling me that because of one expert, that this woman who had tens of thousands of images and 111 videos that she participated in. Well, I can't say she participated in, but at least 3 that they were described as, only got 6 years. I would be really interested in knowing how many years the guy got for filming and not actually participating. How much do you want to bet the guy got 100 plus? Even if he ever does get out, he is going to be a registered sex offender for the rest of his life, which he deserves to be. I'm not saying let him off with 6 years. I want someone like this to hang in the wind. But I also think that she should suffer the same fate. Quote, I agree that at first blush, it appears illogical that women do not suffer from other paraphilitic disorders, Caldwell continued. Sometimes, however, that which appears reasonable is anything but and vice versa. I accept the doctor's evidence on this point. He did agree that this conclusion might change in the future as psychiatry continues to develop. But I cannot base my conclusions on speculative potential that have yet to develop. I'm sorry, you don't have speculative potential that is yet to develop. You have 60,000 images, probably most of which that she has taken part of. You have 111 videos. She's a repeat offender. But that's not the problem. It is absolutely conclusive. It is not absolutely conclusive that women can't be pedophiles. Duh. I mean, anybody with common sense can say duh. No fucking shit. There are numerous instances of women sexually assaulting children, albeit most often at the discretion, many have claimed coercion, of a male partner. That's right, guys. Ladies, if you want to give in to your most base nature, go to Canada. Because they'll let you off easy. All you have to do is say that you were persuaded by your male partner. Fuck this! In this particular case, McEwen was her husband's slave, committed to do his bidding. No, that's not what the term slave means in this aspect with the collaring ceremony and the wedding. No. What it means is he does control her actions, but he is there for her sexual pleasure as well. Oh God, how much more of this? There's not much more of this. Court also heard, however, that McEwen had initiated at least one of the toddler videos without her master present. Hey, look at that. She's a repeat offender. And in at least 2 earlier instances, McEwen had obtained child pornography from 2 men she'd met online before she'd even met Dickens. Wow. That's really messed up. As for the risk assessment testing, Caldwell acknowledged that such testing hasn't been validated as being accurate in predicting risks with female as opposed to male sex offenders. So they're just going to go off of that. I'm not okay with this decision with this person. I'm not okay at all. And in at least 2... sorry, I read that already. They don't really know what they're talking about, the experts, because they haven't looked at the phenomenon closely enough. Well, because it's always guys' faults. You don't have to worry about it. It's never it's never the woman's fault, even though she initiated it. Not once, but apparently 3 times. It's never her fault. It's the guy's fault. That doesn't mean the phenomenon doesn't exist. According to the case, which has now set a precedent, well, it doesn't exist. Thus, women are more inclined to get the justice pass, or, as in this case, being sprung out of a dangerous offender category. As an aside, at the Dickens trial, court heard that in 2003, a London-era woman offered him her 14-year-old daughter for illegal fun after they had connected online. Dickens took the teenager on a movie and date night, then enjoyed himself at the girl's home while her mother sat beside them. Where do these people find each other? Because those are the places that cops need to start raiding. Those are the places that the not Secret Service, but places like the CIA and the FBI, the stuff that does international things, Interpol, those are the places that need to be examined. Where do they find each other to do this shit? Sex with teens and younger had clearly been a feature of the couple's role-playing in their video commentary to one another. The videos retrieved from their home and posters also discovered depicting female children labeled with such descriptors as I'm usually one that is okay with saying whatever. But in this instance, I'm just going to highlight it for you guys because I don't want to say it. I don't care if I'm talking about the news. I don't want to say this. In an interview this week with The Star, Pierce emphasized the scarcity of research literature on female sex offenders. I'm not saying there's no such thing as a female pedophile, but it is almost an exclusively male disorder. That's not to say no woman has it. There may be some outliers, but women, sex offenders, usually offend for other reasons, not because of an innate sexual attraction to children. Usually. Well, we've already gone over that he also agrees that his research isn't complete because, well, he doesn't even have faith in it. Yet, what of female teachers who've become sexually involved with young students? That's a really good question. These are damaged, needy, lonely women. Really? Really? That's your excuse? You're going to give them damaged, needy, and lonely? Could you imagine for a second that was the defense against an adult male teacher having sex with a 14-year-old student? Well, he's just damaged, needy, and lonely. They'd have that psychiatrist's license in a second. Surely gender should not be an exculpatory factor in diagnosing pedophilia. I think we all can agree on that. Gender should not have a problem. It should be the act itself that determines what it is. Women have definitely preyed on children. This woman, McEwen, certainly did. On a 2-year-old. And these may have been her proclivities before she met Dickens. McEwen may have cooperated with the police investigation, but there were nothing to suggest that she won't be similarly drawn to a quote-unquote master in the future, or overstep the bounds of BDSM by assaulting another child. She'll do her time, and then she'll be free as a bird. According to this writer, a vulture. I agree. There was an immense frustration at 720 Bay in the Attorney General's office over McEwen dodging the dangerous offender designation, but there will be no appeal. I want to quote one of Antoine's co-hosts, Wren. Both of these people need to be vetoed. They need to be vetoed hard and fast and thrown out into the middle of the ocean wrapped in steak. Where is it? Here we go. Let's talk about something not that disgusting, shall we? I brought up in my earlier rant that people have been saying, we don't want to abolish the police, we just want to defend them. Well, if you read the New York Times, and you can see on the screen right now, yes, this is an opinion piece, but this is from Mariame Kaba. Ms. Kaba is an organizer against criminalization. She states very openly, yes, we mean literally abolish the police, because reform won't happen. Congressional Democrats want to make it easier to identify and prosecute police misconduct. Joe Biden wants to give police departments $300 million. But efforts to solve police violence through liberal reforms like these have failed for nearly a century. I can tell you why. There's a descriptor there at the beginning of reforms. You might want to look into that being the problem. Liberal reforms like these have failed for nearly a century. Because progressives and liberals. Enough. We can't reform the police. The only way to diminish police violence is to reduce contact between the public and the police. There is not a single era in the United States history in which the police were not a force of violence against black people. Of course. You know, not just a force against black people, but white people, Asian people, Mexicans, anybody. They're a police force. It's in the name. At least I thought. Policing in the South emerged from the slave patrols in the 1700s and the 1800s that caught and returned runaway slaves. No, it's not. No. No, it's not. We have always had militia, and before there was policing, quote-unquote patrols and things like that, there was the military that did the exact same thing. We just moved from having, we'll use today's terms. The military is federal. Okay? Ray, I understand. Policing goes back to ancient Rome, China, Egypt, all that. But the military did this stuff, let's say back in the 17 and 1800s. It was the military. And then they hired normal people. They deputized them to do things like becoming a sheriff and a deputy, policing things, taking care of the problems of the people. It has nothing to do with slave patrols. Slave patrols were fucking bounty hunters. They were not the police. Ray, who is a historian by nature, says medieval European towns had the night watch. They policed. Imagine being this stupid to put it in the New York Times. In the North, the first municipal police departments in the mid-1800s helped quash labor strikes and riots against the rich. Everywhere, they have suppressed marginalized populations to protect the status quo. So when you see a police officer pressing his knee into a black man's neck until he dies, that's the logical result of policing in America. What about the same type of police putting their knee into the neck of a white man in the exact same situation? It shouldn't happen. I agree with you. I agree with everybody. Floyd's death sucked. It shouldn't have happened. But the same thing happened less than a month beforehand, and nobody fucking said a thing. Not only that, but they had on video, on body cam footage, the cops joking about the guy saying he couldn't breathe. Mike fucking Tyson, once known as the baddest man on the planet, put out a tweet saying if white people rioted every single time the cops killed one of them, we would never know peace. He got so much backlash that he had to delete it. But, you know, it's just about George Floyd. When a police officer brutalizes a black person, he is doing what he sees as his job. I'm glad this is an opinion piece that the New York Times decided to basically say it was okay to put up. Are you kidding me? This is utter bullshit. This is nothing but rage bait bullshit that has nothing to do with the actual usage of the police force. You see, I'm not gonna finish this. This is just that right there is enough to speak volumes about this garbage. Listen, we'll talk about the Chaz for a second with this. The Chaz want police to, this whole situation. George Floyd died. We want those police officers fired. Okay, they've been fired. We want them arrested. Okay, they've been arrested. We want them charged. They're being charged. We want them charged with murder. They're being charged with murder. Okay? This happened in 4 days. 4 days. Okay? Normal investigations and actions like this do not take place that quickly. Why? Because body cam footage has to be investigated. Statements have to be made. We have to have people, they have to have a chance to defend themselves, talk to their reps. There has to be a court system put in play. They are innocent until proven guilty. The idiots that are part of BLM right now, the idiots that are taking over with Antifa right now, don't understand that something like this happening in 4 days is almost a miracle. This stuff doesn't happen this quick. It's not Law and Order. It doesn't take a half hour to investigate with jump cuts, then slide right into having a docket set in the court system. It doesn't happen that way. So, listen, that's what they see. That's what they want. They want it to happen bam, 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 bam. They want it quickly. Why? Because we can't take it back. We can't take it back. So the cop that stood on kneeled on George Floyd's neck, he's being charged with 3rd-degree murder. Okay, cool. They want the 3 other police officers that were there also charged with 3rd-degree murder. They're not going to get it. Accessory to the fact? Maybe. They're not going to get it because they didn't have anything to do with it. And a good defense attorney is going to get it thrown out. And then what's going to happen? What's going to happen when 3 of the 4 cops go free and the 4th cop who did kill him gets off on a lighter sentence? Hey, we're going to have more riots in the streets. Because we can't take it back. We can't agree to what they say and then take it back. It doesn't happen that way. Like with Richard Brooks right now, that DA, that district attorney, can't take what he said back. They are going to try and charge Rolf with 1st-degree felony murder. What felony was taking place? For those of you who don't know what felony murder is, it is when someone dies during the committing of a felony. Someone in that whole situation, tell me, where was the felony taking place? Make it make sense. Because what's going to happen is that whole charge, it's not even he's going to go away for 25 years. It's felony murder means the death penalty is on the table. Because he killed someone in the creation of a felony. Someone make it make sense. I would love for it to make sense, because right now it doesn't. That cop is not going to be charged with murder. That cop is probably going to go free. And I hope to God, whatever God you worship, whatever God he worships, I hope to God that cop, after he gets free, turns around and sues the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia for everything he can. Because once it's proven that he was fired for no reason except for doing his job, 1, that's wrongful termination. He's going to get a lot of money for that one. 2, they ruined his name. Defamation now becomes a thing. And on top of that, the DA lied. Provably. I hope he sues them for as much as he can get, because that cop is never going to be able to get another job in his life. For those of you who don't know, did you hear that they found that cop's mother and the mother got fired? The mother got fired. Hold on, I'm going to bring it up so you guys don't think I'm just bullshitting you. Give me just a second. I believe Cinder Shadow sent it to me. Hold on. Give me a second. Blah, blah, blah. Someone sent it to me. Was it on Twitter? Alright, you know what? I don't remember who sent it to me, so I'm going to look it up. There we go. So you guys know I'm telling the truth. I don't like lying. I don't like people who lie. So no one can say that I'm not showing you guys the truth. Stepmother of officer in Rayshard Brooks shooting fired from Atlanta-based company. Melissa Rolfe's termination resulted from a quote-unquote violation of company policy, according to a statement from EPM. That's the easiest way of not letting you know why you were fired. So we're jumping ahead because I got one more article that we're gonna calm ourselves down with after this one. Atlanta-based Equity Prime Mortgage has terminated Melissa Rolfe, the stepmother of former Atlanta police officer Garrett Rolfe, from her position within their firm. Garrett Rolfe is facing felony murder charges in connection with the shooting death of Rayshard Brooks last Friday during a traffic stop outside a Wendy's restaurant in southeast Atlanta. According to a statement from EPM, Melissa Rolfe, the human resources director for the company, was terminated as the result of some of her social media comments. Yep. I'm sure she was defending her stepson. The company released a statement that said, in part, Melissa Rolfe's termination was a direct result of her actions in the workplace in violating of company policy. While working with Melissa as she transitioned to a leave of absence granted by our organization, we discovered she violated company policy and created an uncomfortable working environment for many of our employees, i.e. defending her son. EPM said that they were co-founded by people of color committed to building a better future by bringing diverse cultures into the conversation. So fire the white person. In a release, EPM said that they are dedicated to building wealth in communities of color that have historically suffered from systemic racism. We recognize the roadblocks these communities face and will continue to honor our commitment to removing them. Their statement doesn't make it any less plausible that the only reason they fired her is because her son is a cop that killed a black person. Their statements are pretty obvious. Your son killed a POC. You're fired. Oh, let's take into the fact that she is, what was it? It said she's the human, where was it? Blah blah blah. Her position in the firm, she's the human resources director. So she would have to know what their statement, their business model was, and have no issue with it whatsoever, which means she's okay with doing this stuff, which means she's okay with representation of Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And they went, you're fired because you defended your son. Now, they didn't word it like that, but this statement makes it pretty fucking obvious. We owe our success to our employees who listen generously, speak courageously, and choose positivity. Representation matters, and so do Black lives. So, I'm assuming she listened generously to get to becoming the human resources director. I'm assuming she spoke courageously in defending her son. And I can almost guarantee that she was extremely positive to be that high up in the company. She just happened to have the wrong stepson. The sins of the father is a saying. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, is the sins of the father cannot be held accountable to the sins to the son. That means, basically, everyone is representative of their own actions. I cannot be held accountable for what damn alien does. I can't be held accountable for what Ishtar does. Just like you guys can't be held accountable for what I do. And in this case, more than anything, the stepmother cannot be held accountable for the sins of her son, and they're holding her accountable for that. Yes, damn alien, I know it's better for me. But that's my point. We're now what BLM and Antifa want is everyone to be held accountable for everyone else's actions. It's so that they can't be held accountable for their actions. I can't be arrested for rioting when Tom, Dick, and John did it. They did it too. Well, I'm sorry, you're the one who got caught. You had to go back for your next pair of Jordans. Your own actions are what you should be judged on, not the fact that she had a son who was a cop. The company's statement regarding Melissa Rolfe indicated that she had lost the confidence of co-workers as well as the company leadership. It also indicated that she had expressed views that had created a hostile work environment. Like, my son did nothing wrong because the guy decided to attack him, give him a concussion, and then fire a taser at him. Which, by Georgia law, is a deadly weapon. The cop, Officer Rolfe in this instance, is 100% okay and justified in lighting that sumbitch up. As an HR director, she ultimately lost the confidence of her peers, leadership, and many employees who no longer felt comfortable engaging with her because her son, who is an officer of the law, had something happen. However, when those views create a hostile working environment, we must make difficult decisions to part ways. Yeah, I'm sure it was really, really difficult for them to decide. No, Malik, she has nothing to do with her son. I mean, I don't mean she has nothing to do with it, but she has nothing to do with her son's actions. But they want to hold her accountable. They want to give her something. They want to hurt him even more. Well, what better way to hurt him than hurt his mom? Alright, guys. I got one left. Well, I have more than one left, but I got one left that we're going to talk about. And you're going to look at this and not understand just like I don't understand. Gwyneth Paltrow plugs a candle named Smells Like My Orgasm with her help from her son, Moses. Now, I don't know if Moses got the scent down because of her, or caused it, or did something with it. I don't know. Gwyneth Paltrow has lost the plot. She has gone off the deep end. Goop. You know what? All of this canceling that is going on, we need to cancel the real problematic stuff out there. Like Goop. Malik, I hope it's funny. I hope. Gwyneth Paltrow just loves the smell of her own scent, as we know because she has a candle that is titled Smells Like My Vagina. Apparently the scent goes really good when you're eating chips. Tuesday, on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, the Goop Queen introduced the latest to her odoriferous collections of candles, inspired by Paltrow's own body odor, called This Smells Like My Orgasm. The 10.5 ounce candle costs $75. $75. Same as the It Smells Like My Vagina candle. If you want to smell what Gwyneth Paltrow smells like, it's going to cost you $75. And is available on the Goop's website. Do not go there. I don't normally tell you guys what to do. Don't go to Goop. It's not worth it. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the headache. It's definitely not worth the pain or the nausea that is going to come from it. Alongside a colorful descriptor, a fitting follow-up to that candle, you know the one. This blend is made with tart grapefruit, neroli, and ripe cassis berries blended with gunpowder tea and Turkish rose absolutes for a scent that is sexy, surprising, and wildly addictive. I needed Zeo Gold. I needed an article to lighten things up with some of the stuff that we were going to be talking about today. The candle is a collaboration between Goop and fragrance brand Heretic. Is currently available in the US only. It should be available nowhere. Earlier this year, the 47-year-old actress made headlines with another candle dubbed "This Smells Like My Vagina." As Paltrow waxed on, about her fragrant climax, her son, Moses, was apparently sitting just outside of the frame before Fallon invited him to chat. The 14-year-old son of Paltrow and her ex-Coldplay frontman Chris Martin, 43, said he was playing piano and guitar in his free time. The Iron Man star told late-night viewers that the original candle idea was supposed to be punk rock feminist. That's when she suggested that her latest candle, which comes in a box decorated with fireworks, might be just the thing for Fallon's wife, Nancy Joven, 53. "You are crushing it," Jimmy told her. Not for the orgasm one, Ray. The orgasm one, you hit a button on the bottom of it and it vibrates when it lights up. The late-night host raved about Goop's product line during their remote interview via video conference. Fallon, 45, also showed off some of his favorite goods from the Goop store during their chat, such as Dr. Barbara Strum's face mask. The German beauty mogul was made famous in 2016 for her highly novel yet gruesome cosmetic treatment, the Vampire Facial, involving, you guessed it, human blood. Your own, of course, being injected into your face, so that when you leave, you start actually, as Anabi has shown us on My Immortal, cry blood. "I love what TV stardom has done to you," said Paltrow, adding that Fallon barely showered when they first met. Ew. Why are Hollywood people gross? Okay, so Moses didn't have anything to do with plugging the candle. That's New York Post, you baited me, and in turn I baited my audience. Guys, I am sorry about that. I didn't mean to. That was clickbait. I didn't mean it. It happens, I guess. But yeah, just ew. No, stop. Okay, ladies, listen to me. Just listen carefully, please. Just take the time to understand this. Men love you. Men want to be around you. Men want to hold you. Men want to do all sorts of wonderful things to you. When you create things that are named "Smells Like My Vagina," and you go crazy about your period blood and everything to do with like your yeast down there making sourdough and using your placenta to make smoothies for your children's. Men don't want anything to do with you. So stop. Please. For the love of God, stop. This is not something you need to do. We understand you want to take your femininity and you want to empower yourself. Awesome. I just think I think this is not something. These are the women who buy this candle stuff and make stuff like this, that are completely shocked that they're spinsters at 40, that they have no boyfriend, they have no life, they have nothing but their fucking cats at home. Okay? Stop this. Don't put period blood on your face. Don't mix placenta in with a strawberry smoothie. Don't make vagina bacon. Don't make yeast, or don't make bread from your vaginal yeast. Don't do any of this stuff. Stop. Stop it. For the love of God, stop. Do you know how much craziness that is going on in this world right now? We don't need this. I don't know. I don't know who the intended market is for. Damn alien. I have no clue. Alright, guys. There has been a lot of insanity going around. We talked about most of it. Last time I talked to you about stuff like this, I said stay safe. Now, aside from things like Chaz and all of this stuff, I want to say things are starting to calm down, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's a statement that a lot of people don't realize is not a bad thing. Having a cold or the flu, there is a peak where it's the worst thing that can happen. It's so horrible. You feel like shit. You know, you have a fever, you're puking, you have diarrhea, your body aches, you're just tired all the damn time, and you just want it to stop. That's at the peak. And when you pass that peak, it starts to get better. I have had to be the one to have hope in the household that I'm in. Because Ishtar has just been seeing all of this just anger and hatred. And for someone like me, who is a dyed-in-the-wool pessimist, to look at what's going on and going, okay, we haven't hit the worst yet. It's going to get worse before it gets better. It's different. It's difficult for me. But I want to assure you guys of something. Okay? It's going to get better. Now, is it going to get better after November? I don't know. Is it going to get better before that? I don't know. But this can't continue. There is an old... you guys are going to laugh at my example. There's an old wrestler. Okay? His name is the $1 Million Man. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. His idea was everyone has a price. Everyone has a price to do something. You guys hit my price on things all the time. What I'll read for a book, what I'll do to have Antoine Purr, things like that. Everyone has a price. What that means is everyone has a breaking point. Everyone is willing to give the benefit of the doubt or give way to a certain point. We haven't hit it as a society yet. We're getting there. We're seeing the pushback. And it's not just people like me or you guys or like minds on Twitter. It's normal people are seeing this now. And I want you to take some solace in that normal people are seeing this. There is no price for me to eat the death pepper on stream, damn alien. No price. No, I'll tell you a price. It involves 9 zeros. No decimal points. And a 1 in front of it. That's my price. Because when I die, I want to leave money to the people I care about. I would not do it for 10K. Malik, I know you don't think it's going to get better. I'm here to try and give you some hope. Because normal people are noticing this. And those normal people are going to push back because there's a breaking point for everyone. See, Zaw, you have an example right there. She's getting tired of woke shit too because it's pushing too far. I brought up about the article about the Alamo. Well, why? Why is that so funny to people? We joke about Texas all the time. Texas isn't really part of the U.S. I mean, it is, but we look at it as Texas is its own state. Texas is its own state of mind. So why is it so funny that Antifa is going to go take on the Alamo? Well, because we know for a fact that's never going to happen. Because Antifa would show up to go to the Alamo and there would be a line of people going, "Not in this neighborhood, motherfucker." There were rumors that the Hells Angels were going to the Chaz. And people started losing their shit going, "Oh God, this is going to be good." It's going to get better, guys. It's going to be bad. You're going to see it. You're going to think, "Oh God, it can't get any worse." You're going to think this is it. This is the end of the U.S. They're going to go after the Constitution. They're going to take away the First Amendment, which California is trying to do. Ray, get out of California. That's what people are going to think. And America is going to reach that breaking point. And people are going to start to fight back. Ray, do you like your stuff or your freedom? That's the question you need to ask. So, take it from someone who's a pessimist. Someone who sees the negative in everything, who's a cynical asshole. It's going to get worse, yeah, but it's going to get better. It's going to get to the point where that pendulum is going to swing, and it's going to swing hard. Tom, I hope it doesn't come to that, man. I really do. I hope it doesn't come to someone pulling a YouTube or Facebook live feed of I'm Antifa and I kill this person. But we're going to get that breaking point. We're going to get to that point where people stop giving leeway. So, once again, stay safe. If you think a crowd of people are gathering and it doesn't look good, go a different way. I would hate to see anything happen to any one of my viewers. So, with that being said, guys, if you like what I do here, go ahead and like, share this around, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, hit that little notification bell so you know when I upload, when I go live. If you want to support the channel, there's an updated Patreon with some really fun stuff in there. You can also join and become a member, join the Discord, and you can also buy some really nice merchandise down below. All the links for everything is down below, guys. I appreciate everything you do. So, from the bottom of my heart here, Help for the Guildless and Last Vox, I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. And I hope for all the fathers out there had a happy Father's Day. I'm going to be going to cook dinner for Ishtar's father here and myself and everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If I don't see you next weekend, and I don't see you the weekend after that, I'm sorry. It's 4th of July weekend, guys. It's coming up. Have a good one. And just live your life, guys. See you next time.
He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?